Good afternoon, everybody. I just need to do this. Hello, Stafford. Thank you. I've thoroughly enjoyed today to a point. The reason I've enjoyed it to a point is because I'm now standing up here about to narrate, hopefully, fingers crossed, every part of me crossed, a live demo. It is a live demo. It can go wrong. If it goes wrong, the first thing I've done is see where the fire escape is, and the last thing you'll see is me running across the fields as it goes wrong. Please bear with us. We hope it won't. We do sometimes have glitches, and what we propose to do today is give quite a short demonstration of a way that is a feasible, realistic way that you as an individual or your business, more importantly, could be attacked. As Joe kindly said, we work for a local company, Interforensics, based over on the business park in Stafford. This is our bread and butter. As a business, we respond to companies who've been attacked on a daily basis. And believe me, it's horrible. Some of the phone calls we get in are company owners in tears because they literally can see their lifetime's work going out the window and closing down. So with no much further ado, fingers crossed, we will try and get this going. I'm going to introduce two members of my team. Andrew on the far left, as you can see, who's my principal forensic consultant, vastly experienced in investigating cybercrime, and thankfully vastly experienced in the other side as well of doing some manipulative things, which hopefully we'll show you. And next to Andrew is Sam, who for the purpose of today is one of you. And this is the bit you now need to do. You've had your lunch, which was really nice, but you do need to use your imagination because we are where we are in this building. What I'm going to describe to you is Sam now is in your office. He's got his office machine, and you can see that on the screen behind him. That's what we're looking at. And you can see as Sam moves his mouse on the trackpad, there is nothing up his sleeves. There's no trickery going on here. He is just going to be doing work on his mouse. Andrew, on the other hand, who's now disappeared, he likes to get me worried, but Andrew suddenly has gone from principal consultant to naughty hacker. Okay. Complete with hoodie and large can of Red Bull, which keeps him going. Okay. Now, this bit is not acting. This is a man who walks into the office every morning with 2 4-can packs of Red Bull. And by about 10:30 in the morning, there is usually only 1 or 2 cans left. Yeah. So please use your imagination. We've got Sam's screen on the left as you're looking at it, Andrew's screen on the right, and I will just try and perhaps stand in the middle so you're not getting too much of me. Move this out of the way a little bit. And I'll talk you through, my sort of role here is to talk you through what we're going to do. Okay. I'm starting this slightly different to the usual ones, but the whole premise of this goes back to 2 parts really. One that Amanda mentioned this morning in her presentation, how busy is it out there? 29 million WhatsApp tweets going, WhatsApp messages every minute. If you've got an online presence for your company or individually, you are busy. I know you're busy, we've got busy lives. And that's how the attackers, like Andrew, thrive. They get under the radar because we haven't got time to check everything. It's a split-second lack of concentration on our behalf gives him all the room he needs to do his attack. And that's what you have to bear in mind. The second part that we need to make this attack work is human nature. I am looking at a room of about 400 people, and I'm quite a good judge of character, and I think at least 398 of you are nice people, statistically. Okay, I'm not going to go any further than that. Maybe those 2 are not. But anyway, nice people who are programmed, whether you like it or not, to do the right thing. You might not realise it, but generally speaking, as human beings, we are programmed to do the right thing. So you are conditioned and you're brought up to try and do the right thing, and this is what this technique relies on. The reason it relies on that is because as we walked in the building at lunchtime, somebody had dropped a set of keys, an innocent-looking set of keys in the car park. Okay, and it can happen. Has anybody, quick show of hands, anybody lost a key ever? Lost their keys? And it's panic, isn't it? We know that feeling, thank you. We know that feeling. So consequently, if you find a set of keys, and if you found these in your works car park or in reception or under one of these chairs at lunchtime today, I strongly suggest that what you will try and do is the right thing, and that's get them back to the owner. How you do that may vary on what circumstances you're in, but generally speaking, the right thing is to try and get those keys back to the owner. because it could be your wife's keys, your husband's, your partner's, your child, your mum, your dad. And without them, and what I'm going to do here that's slightly different, just to show you, because you can't really see, is I've took a photograph at lunchtime. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at a key ring that's got a car key. Sometimes we have to change this because we have like a Jaguar key, and if I say it's a Jag key, someone goes, oh, they're mine. No, they're not yours. It's a Fiat key. It's a Fiat key on there. There's a Winnie the Pooh Yale key, a little key ring photo of a young girl, and a key fob key ring which looks like a Xbox or PS4 controller. Nothing else on there to indicate who those keys might belong to. That's all you've got. But I suggest you're still going to think, well, they could belong to somebody. They do. And I don't want someone to have a horrible day where they can't get home in the car, or if they're already nearby the home, they can't get in the house. So I'm going to try and get them back. What can I do? And this is when we come to that two little things. You've got the little angel on one shoulder and the little devil on the other. Because you are torn. You want to get them back, and there is a way. Because on this keys, funnily enough, the key fob is a USB device. Not uncommon again, I suggest. We see lots of instances where these devices now are so small, you can have them on a key ring, you could have it on any sort of connection on your bag or something like that, and they are useful. And that really is potentially the only way that poor Sam, who is a nice person, and he's going to try and do the right thing today, is going to see what he can do. Okay. He does know, however, deep down, there's something in the back of his mind that says, I'm at work and I'm not really supposed to plug even my own device, let alone something I found in the street. But what damage can it do? And you never know, if I do find these, the owner of these keys, there might even be a reward. Now, I know he doesn't really think like that, but you never know. So with no further ado, what I'll ask Sam to do is plug that USB device into his computer, and hopefully you should see something happen. Okay, as we expect, it's activated. It says that as a device got in. Sam's opened that up, and here, if you can't see, I've got a little pointer. Nothing again untoward, and this is what this relies on. This is fairly natural. It's got a little folder up there that says backup, photos, a spreadsheet or two spreadsheets, text document, a music file, a picture, JPEG photograph, and a document. So nothing in there that says to Sam, do not go any further, this is dangerous. Okay. I would suggest as well, Sam, and I again suggest because it's the power of suggestion, I know what he's going to do, open the photo to see if you know who it is. And in the meantime, and this is where we get slightly panicky, Andrew, who is our hacker, could be anywhere in the world. All Andrew needs today to be successful is a laptop, he's got that, an internet connection, he's got that, and a little bit of luck. Because the one thing Andrew's got on his side is time. He has got all the time in the world to do these tricks. And one point I always make is you and I and businesses and the world in general have to be lucky 24 hours a day that we're not attacked. Andrew has to be lucky once in a day. It's as simple as that. The odds are really in his favour. If he does enough of these attacks, he will be lucky sooner rather than later. Okay. So we'll just watch. Sam will open and Andrew will be sitting there drinking his Red Bull. So the photograph has opened and something has happened. Okay. Two things have happened there. Sam's looked at the photo. Do you know the people, Sam?
I don't recognise them.
No, okay. So at this stage, you're struggling. Without looking at more documents, he is being paid to do work, actually, so he should be getting on with his day job. So you're going to now do a bit of work in a second. But Andrew has come alive because something has happened on Andrew's hacking machine in the other side of the world. Okay. He takes an extra large swig of his Red Bull because he is now going to go into business. And what he will do is go through a bit of a process of research, of exploring, of seeing what he can find out. And you imagine this happening in your businesses, no matter how large or small your businesses are. Because the one thing also happening at the moment is there's no indication on Sam's corporate machine that anything is untoward. Okay. So what Andrew first of all does, appreciate at the back you might not see this, it's not too important to look at all the text, I'll just shout out the relevant bits. But what Andrew has already identified is a network number for the laptop 726, and a username, joe.blogs. Okay, so the user account at this moment on that laptop, joe.blogs. The next thing Andrew will do is try and work out what sort of permissions, what sort of administrative, if any, access the user has got on that computer. How tied down is that user? Has he just got control over that one machine, fairly limited, or can he get further into the network? So that's the next thing Andrew will look at. But he's got a couple of words there that are a bit negative. He's got one there that says error, and he's got one that says access is denied. Is that the end of the day? Of course not. It just gives him some more information. So the next thing Andrew will do, a few more instructions, a few more commands into the machine. And what Andrew is actually trying to do now is increase the privileges, the access privileges of that machine. So although Sam as the user can't do very much, Andrew is going to try and bypass that and have further control over this system and potentially into that company network. And there's a word there, can you just pop that up the screen a little bit please, Andrew, thank you. There's a word there that he would like to see, and that says success. So something's gone right, whatever command he's put in there, certainly gone right there. And looking a bit further at the Joe Bloggs account, what Andrew has now done, he has escalated his, as the attacker's privileges, to that of a system user. So he's gone way above what that user can do. So Andrew now has got a lot more exposure and access into the system. Here we do hash dump. So as part of this exploratory looking round and research, if that's the word you want to use, Andrew is now bringing up, again up the screen if you wouldn't mind, thank you. What he's now got, a couple of things here. If we know sometimes when we log into our Windows accounts and it says put the password in, it gives you an option to put a hint in. So if you ever forget the password, you can put that hint or bring up the hint and it will give you a clue. Well, we've exposed, I say we, it's not we, it's not me, it's him. He has exposed that already. The hint for the password local domain is normal. The hint for that account, Joe Bloggs, is hospital. So that might be some useful information. And this goes back again to a couple of comments made in the previous presentations about aggregating this data. The more information Andrew gets, the more power he has over the system and the more control. In addition to that, he has got some accounts on that system, administrator, guest, local admin, Joe Bloggs, IT admin, with some long strings associated. Those strings are the passwords for those accounts. So it's another step now. What Andrew will do, he'll highlight part of that password. He has got a little program here that he will copy that password into, and he will set that to run in the background to try and crack, to break the password. And that will just be happening now behind the scenes. Okay. He's still quite curious because that's what he is by nature, and he wants to see what's on the desktop of this machine that I've now attacked. Let's see if we can do that. So he puts a command in, and he has now done a screen grab of the desktop of the victim's machine, which could yield all sorts of information. And what we have to bear in mind, and think about your own desktops. Are you one of these clean, uncluttered types? Or are you one of these, everything I save gets saved onto the desktop, and then I'm looking at hundreds of icons to try and work out what I need? Can give lots of information. In this case, Sam is clearly a clean, uncluttered type of person. What he has got on his desktop is an icon for a spreadsheet, and it's called MP list, that's the name of the document, and I think Andrew might be interested in that. I've got a strong suspicion he might be interested in that. In the meantime, he's been at work 2 hours, he's had his coffee, he's finally starting to do something. He is going to open that spreadsheet, and we can see now Sam's opened the spreadsheet, various bits of information on there, he's doing some work, but still no indication on that computer that he's under attack. Andrew, in the meantime, is downloading a copy. He wants his own copy. I don't want to just look at it on a screen grab where it's inactive, I can't do anything with it. I want to get my own copy of that spreadsheet. So Andrew, as a hacker, has downloaded his own copy, and he's now going to open it. he's not going to open it because it needs a password. I don't know if you saw that, but when Sam went to open it, the one good thing, 10 out of 10 there, Sam, he had a password on that spreadsheet. So at the moment, Andrew's got a copy of it, but it's no good to him because it's password protected. Is that going to stop him? And I strongly suspect it won't. He will just have to be a bit creative now to work out how can he get the password for the spreadsheet he has stolen. Right, how are you going to do that? Okay, I know how he's going to do that. First thing he does is he starts a little program on the victim's machine that logs every keystroke Sam puts into it. So from this moment onwards, anything that Sam types onto that keyboard is being recorded in the background. Great, we're at that point now, but unless Sam puts the password in again, we've got to wait, and we don't know how long that will take. If he's working on that spreadsheet for the next 3 or 4 hours, we're no good. So Andrew has to think of a way to get Sam to put the password in again, and he has done. He has crashed that spreadsheet. Okay. Now, you could argue that, yes, something untoward has happened. Yeah, it's happened. But how many of us, and let's be honest, work on machines where documents occasionally freeze, documents crash. They don't always do as we expect. It didn't crash saying you're under attack, be careful. It literally just closed down. So Sam is now going to restart it. And of course, to restart it, he will have to put his password in again. Great, everything's normal. He's back to work, password in, spreadsheet open, good to go again. In the meantime, Andrew goes back to his keylogger. If you can just drop that up, please, or lift that up. And what we can see here, captured keystrokes, Helen 999. Let's have a go. Starter for 10. So Andrew, if you can now try and open that spreadsheet with that password that you've stolen. Bingo. So he's identified the spreadsheet on the desktop. He stole his own copy of it. He identified a password was needed. He then used a little trick to crash Sam's version of it to get his password. And he's now in possession of that spreadsheet and the password, and it could be the crown jewels. This sheet has all sorts of information on it. Please don't think that this is an exaggeration. We deal with companies on a regular basis who do store what I would call the crown jewels relating to that organisation on a password-protected spreadsheet. Very dangerous. But we do see these, and most of what we're showing today is based on live incidents that we've had to go and investigate. Okay. I just want to move forward a little bit now because you are even more nosy and you now want to see who's in that office. Bang. So, Andrew is able to activate the webcam on his victim's computer and take a shot with the webcam. Okay, that always does get a reaction, you know, because it's a little bit eerie as well. But think from a business point of view of the dangers of that. Just a snapshot, maybe not the best example. So if we move on one stage further, can you see if you can... I know he's not moving very much, but can we see if we can get him moving? Okay, so we're now streaming. We have now activated... I keep saying we, please forgive me for that. It's him. He has now activated the webcam. He is streaming video from that laptop. The next stage we can do is we can activate the microphone. So think now, big boardroom meeting, your business, your company is involved in extremely sensitive talks about a takeover. And it is so sensitive, there's only selected people invited into this meeting in the boardroom, and one of you takes in your laptop, and this has happened. You could have all the security in the world on the outside, doesn't matter because you have taken a bug into your own boardroom that is watching what's going on, filming what's going on, and is listening to everything going on as well. And these are the serious business issues that you do have to think about. Okay? Yeah. You're back in? You okay? Just bear with us 1 second. As I say, it's a live demo. The one bit I will also mention now, because it's a question that often gets asked, is afterwards we sometimes get people come to us and say, just remind us how you broke into that system. And the really important thing to know is we haven't broken in. So think about this in a physical world first of all. You could have an office building with brilliant locks on the windows, bars on the windows, locks on the doors, security patrols coming around the outside, and everything like that that will prevent a physical break-in. Really good security. But if somebody comes along and has a reason for being in your building, or sneaks into your building and then hides, and then once you've all gone home, they steal what they want to steal and leave the building, that's arguably a lot easier for them to do than breaking in the first place. And this is what's happened on this instance. Lots of security on this office laptop, really good security, to prevent people hacking in. But Andrew hasn't hacked in. What's happened here through human nature is Sam has broken out by opening that picture, creating that connection. Sam has broken out to make the connection with Andrew. It's a very subtle twist, but it's very important as a tactic that attackers will use. Okay. The next thing here, can you, again, middle of the screen, if you could, as we get towards the end here, because it's more research, but what Andrew's been able to do here is get accounts for shopping, Hungry Horse, he's get Facebook accounts, and he's also managed to get the username and the password in clear. So if he was of a mind and that sort of person, he might be eating well tonight. He might be doing a lot of shopping at somebody else's expense, and this is how this all works. He may actually just be passing this data on, and that's a really important thing. Data, personal information, has got extreme value in this day and age. It really is. It's just growing into a world where people will pay, criminals will pay so much for data, and this is the sort of thing that Andrew can steal. The next thing, finally, is we get in the last couple of stages of showing you this. He can dump the links, so these are all the recent files that Sam or that office user may have been looking at, which again could be really valuable in terms of document names. So we could have had a recent document, figures April 2016. The photograph that he opened, me and Jill, is listed on there. It could be documents about takeover this or such and such of that, anything like that. All these links, and this is information he can get. Okay. Finally now, what Andrew wants to do is just really upset Sam, because at the moment Sam doesn't know. He's working hard, working to an extent on his laptop in the office, and Andrew is going to just make sure Sam now knows that he has been under attack, which again shows what Andrew can do. Okay, the first bit he's done is disable the keyboard and the trackpad. So it doesn't matter now what Sam does, nothing's happening. Apart from the Windows key, nothing else. You can't move the trackpad? No. So that machine now, for all intents and purposes, is not going anywhere. And finally, you can't even close that down, can you? Finally, he's put a little message on there to tell him he has been hacked, which I suspect would really ruin somebody's day. There's not a lot more Sam can do with his computer because his keyboard's not working, the trackpad's not working. He has been hacked. You're going to close him down if you can? Try to. Bang. We can even shut his computer down. Moving on one more step, we won't do it now because of time, but imagine a situation now where we didn't do those final bits, so Sam is totally unaware that he's been attacked, the business has got no idea, they've closed 6:30 at night, they've all gone home. Andrew now could log back into that machine, fire it up, and have all night long, while there's nobody in the business, to be doing more research, to be jumping from one machine to the other around the network, and to be finding out all the information he wanted. The biggest learning points of this really are human nature. Just think about it, It's how these tricks work, because we are programmed to do the right thing. This wasn't a USB key with dangerous malware on it. It was a set of keys designed specifically to look like a normal person's keys, even down to the photo of the young girl. And that's how these things do work. So, well done, gang. just again to show how this is working, the malware, okay, on this key fob that's been used has been run against 37 providers of anti-malware solutions. And it says on the top here, detected by 0 of 37. Okay, that is not to say, and I must stress this, that is not to say that it's a waste of time putting this on. It is not. It is vitally important to put this on your machine. But the reason this has been successful today, and this is where I do owe Andrew a big debt of gratitude, is that he has been writing the code that worked on that machine probably about 3 o'clock this morning. So it is too new to be picked up by these antivirus products. That's why it's worked. So this is hot off the press. It might not work again if we did it tomorrow or next week, because it could have been detected. But if you haven't got one of these products running, you've got no chance. At least by having these running, you've got some chance. It might not get everything, but it will get the vast majority. Thank you very much. Well done,